Good morning, gentlemen. I'm now in Bombay, in Mumbai, as we say now, and I'll be here for a few days before I continue to my office in Southeast Asia. Well, gentlemen, I'm going to talk to you about something very important, and it's the most important thing that has happened in the present day, and that is the coronation of or the swearing in ceremony of President Donald Trump. Now, I've been going through his entire profile, what all has been stating, but what he says he does not do. Let us accept the fact. That means he's a very, very intelligent man. He knows where to strike and what to do when to do. Now, I examined his entire speech, which he gave, on his swearing in, and I can imagine I'm a little surprised that he didn't mention about China at all. Earlier he was talking a hell of a lot about China, saying, well, China, I'm going to put so many tariffs on China, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And when the crux of the moment in the speech, inauguration speech, he hasn't mentioned China, except at one point, I'll tell you where. Why he didn't do it? He's a very pragmatic man. Now let's accept one very important fact. The Chinese do not go and attend any ceremonies normally, but this time, one of the senior most party officials, just one or two ranks lower than President Xi, went for the swearing in ceremony of Donald Trump. And that by itself is what we say is surprise. Now, China, he knows, I think Donald Trump knows, has got a trade surplus of almost 4 to $500 billion with America. And if he were to put the tariffs on China now, it's going to be like a double-edged sword. The English sword, the broad sword, cuts from both sides. If he had put tariffs on China, the prices of goods in America would have gone up, and the American public would have said, what the hell? Why did we bring in Donald Trump? So he kept quiet about it. That's the beauty of the whole thing, and give him credit for it. At the same time, he mentioned about China at only one place when he said something about Panama, the Panama Canal. And was pretty lackluster in criticizing anybody. But certain countries must beware of him. Beware because he is a businessman and he sees everything as a businessman will do. The first thing he said the same thing about Taiwan, what he has told Western Europe. He had told Western Europe, if you want that we should defend you, you've got to pay for it. And the same thing he told Taiwan. And that would be music to the ears of President Xi. And the Taiwanese are surprised because all along the Dems and Biden and Obama earlier have always followed the policy that we will support Taiwan come what may. Biden said the same thing about Ukraine. We will support Ukraine for as long as it gets. What happened? Biden's been is sitting outside now. And Donald Trump is the man. But at the moment, the way I see it, he's not very successful in Russia Ukraine war, but he will be. He's a very, very resourceful man. And he knows when to strike. I think the country that must beware of Donald Trump is India. First, he didn't invite the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi for the swearing in ceremony. That's number one. And for that, I believe Mr. Modi himself has to blame. He cooked his own goose. I couldn't understand a seasoned politician like Modi. I mean, he couldn't understand the entire thing that this man is a man who's to play to his ego. And he was in America, and there was a speech made by Donald Trump. I've seen the video, you can see it on YouTube, in which he said, Modi is a wonderful chap, and I'm looking forward to meeting him. And what did Mr. Modi do? He was sitting there, met Biden and all, and quietly came back. This was an insult for Donald Trump, and he's not going to give it away. But at the same time, he realizes the importance of India. And when Jaishankar was there, you know what happened. He got great honor. He was sitting in the front row, and many of the so-called allies of the Americans were sitting at the back, the ambassadors, while Donald Trump, our foreign minister, Mr. Jaishankar, was in the front row. That's a sign that shows that Donald Trump means business. And I think he will make a visit to India, but Modi shouldn't be too thrilled about it because he's not very happy about the strategic independence which India was talking earlier. Now, I must advise something to Mr. Modi and Jaishankar that don't put on the cloak of a lion when you're a sheep. Remember that. And you do it, you're going to ask trouble for yourself. Indians are trying to balance Russia with America. There's no balancing. Russia is nothing. He's finished as a power. And you know what happened to President Assad? Assad put all his eggs in the Russian basket. And he was thinking Russians are going to save me. And what happened? When actually the battle started, the Russians just couldn't support Assad at all and to run away. That was because they were tied up in the Ukraine war. And what the hell? They can't do anything. There's nothing they'll be able to do to save Assad. They couldn't do anything. And you think they got any capacity to support India? I don't think so. Even the S-400 missile system, which has been contracted, has been delayed by over a year. We haven't got it. The entire paraphernalia, what has been contracted, has not come. And they're offering the S-500, a more advanced system, but what they use when you couldn't supply S-400. So, gentlemen, this is a very important point. The Russians have been set up giving India the lollipop that you take the Su-57 fighter. It's easy to talk, very difficult to implement because the S-57 is no patch on the F-35, the American fifth generation fighter with the Chinese also. The so-called J-35 or 41 which they got, which they made, the fifth generation fighter is not a patch, not a match at all. So, gentlemen, Trump knows which side the bread is buttered. And earlier also he was talking to India and saying that you must cut down your tariffs. I think, Modi was having the Indian government, not only Modi, people more, they have their cake and eat it too. That we put a lot of subsidies on taxes on the other goods which are coming from abroad. But when our goods there, they please don't tax us. It's not going to happen that way. Last time I remember Donald Trump was pretty angry when the Harley Davidson motorcycle, was being contracted in India, and Modi had put a duty of 100% on it. When Donald Trump twisted the tail, it was reduced to 50%. But that also he didn't wasn't happy at all. And now that machine is not being imported to India. The question with now is what all is Donald Trump going to implement? I think he will bring some pressure on the Chinese in Panama. And there has been, I think, some quid pro quo between Donald Trump and the Chinese. That's why he didn't mention about the tariffs on China. And he's talked only about this Panama Canal. I think that's a very justifiable demand which he's going to make on Panama. And I can expect fireworks on that. As far as Mexico is concerned, it's already come online. And whatever Trump said they'll do. And they are not going to send the asylum seekers across the border. Now, the countries who were really worried are the West European countries. Now, West Europe appears to me like an old man. It's almost going away. And that you can't deny it. And the Europeans have a low birth rate, the population is going down, and the older population is going up as a percentage. And it's not a good thing to hear. I saw a video by the Imam of the Al Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem who made a statement that we require our young men to go and fertilize the European women. I think it's a good thing with the European want to hear. Now, at least three countries, that is Germany, England, and France, are in the grip of the Islamists. And I don't know what these Islamists are doing, whether they're fertilizing the European women, and no, it's just a statement or a factual fact, I don't know. But these countries are worried with the influx of the Islamic people from the Middle East in particular. and North Africa. Earlier they were clapping and happy, oh, we got cheap labor. That cheap labor has become something else now, and they don't know what they have to do. They are like the cancer in society. They don't mix up with the people. They're insular lot. They want their own Sharia. They want everything of their own. So, gentlemen, we are watching a replay of the demise of Europe. That's what I mean to say. Europe earlier also had demised in the 15th century when the Ottoman Empire ruled, and now it's coming to the same thing. As far as India is concerned, I think it should be very, very careful in dealing with America because what the Americans say, lower the tariff, you better do it. And there's time that Modi should realize that Atmanirbhar and all is a pretty BS, and there's no point in wasting money on the engine frame, millions of dollars, which the Indians spent on the Tejas fighter. And the fighter can't fly because the engine doesn't come. And the American General Electric, you don't have the engine, we give you later. And in any case, this is only a fourth generation fighter. It doesn't compare with the F 35 or the Chinese fighter, which 40 of these have been contracted and to be given to Pakistan. Now, Donald Trump swearing in ceremony, I'm going to tell you, I'm very impressed with it. Wonderful, very nice. The dances, the presidential ball, all that's so wonderful. And I think, and so many leaders from the world going and attending it, Even the Chinese, one of the most senior, most Chinese leaders was attending the thing. The Russians, of course, nobody came. Putin didn't come. But then there was no invitation to Putin, no personal invitation. Because Russia itself is now not considered to be the power. Donald Trump talked on so many other things, local, which are domestic politics, which he can implement, and he's probably going to do it. Like he had stopped, you see, that system which they had in America earlier, that if you're born in America, you get American citizenship. That's been finished with one executive order. That's going to reflect on a lot of Indians who don't know what the hell to do, who migrate to America with the H1 visa and decided to have children there so that they would get American citizenship. It's not going to happen now. And not only that, he's come down on immigration, and I think India is going to get accepted to take back 18,000 Indians who illegally migrated to the United States. So all these things are there. He's doing a good job there in furthering American interests. But at the same time, he knows that he has to handle China differently. I think he has realized that China is not only a competitor rival, but it is a country which is looking for world domination, and he's just trying to slow the thing down. I think he's going to come very heavy on Iran and Pakistan also, because Pakistan is another country which he has a very low opinion of, and the Bangladesh president, Muhammad Yunus, I think must be planning to flee very shortly. Well, watch out of what's to happen. So this ceremony in Washington was a wonderful ceremony, and I had a feeling all along that there was a toss of Christianity coming into it. It's a good thing. So many things matter in life. I wish India could have a similar ceremony in which the Hindu culture is brought out. Because India is a land with almost 80 to 85% Hindus, and I see no reason why it can't be done in India. But we have also to become progressive and take English, because we are one nation which is the biggest number of English knowing people in the world. Almost 300, 350 million Indians know English. And it's to the Indian government to see to it that English goes further. And why can't we beat the English at their own game? So you get out of that thing, with the BJP has got about English being a foreign language and all that. And it's a pretty little crap. I can't comment much on it. It's so silly. So, gentlemen, uh, it's the end of the road as far as I think it's concerned for India's strategic independence. That will be over. China also going to be very careful. The Chinese have been shit scared because their economy is in doldrums and they need America to for them to sustain it. The Everglade housing has collapsed. So many Chinese are jobless now, and the communist society can't do a damn thing. Just keep quiet. Either die hungry or go to the prison camp. So the Chinese are in serious trouble, though their technology is advanced, but it's still, I would presume, one generation behind the American technology. Russia has finished as the global power, and Donald Trump is coming in with the idea of making America great. I've been studying him throughout. He's really not interested in any country, honestly. Neither interested in France, Germany, or all these countries. He thinks they are the sick old countries of the world. He's looking to the future, and the future is probably going to be he's going to give more importance to India and also to China to a degree. Like he will like an accommodation with China. Let me tell you, he doesn't want to have a confrontation. And Japan, of course, is again a sick man of Asia. He doesn't know what the hell is happening. Japanese population also sustaining, not able to sustain itself, and it's an aging population again. Same thing which is being faced by Europe. But one thing good, they don't have anybody from the Middle East and other places coming and polluting the place. South Korea is going to be in trouble. I think President Kim would be a little happy because he had a good relationship with Donald Trump. He met him twice, and probably Donald will meet him again. But then let's imagine, just remember that Donald just got 4 years. So either he changes the constitution and becomes a dictator for life, or after 4 years he goes home. Well, he's used his executive power and he's already pardoned all the people who were involved in the so called insurrection on Capitol Hill. All of them have been pardoned by him. And Biden, of course, has gone and pardoned tens of persons. I couldn't the reason for what he's done it. He pardoned his son also. And this is the peculiarity of America, where the presidential pardon is used more as a political toy than anything else. Well, gentlemen, I think I've given you an idea. Donald Trump was all fire and brimstone before. He's muted down. He probably realized, the heaviness of being the leader of the world, the topmost leader, and is going to see what happens. He wants to keep America great. He'll have to keep India on his side. There's no doubt about it. And I think the Pakis must be very, very unhappy. They've been totally ignored. And I have a feeling that Pakistan, in any case, Donald Trump in due course will realize that it's better to have Pakistan, which is broken into two or three countries, than to have a monolith Pakistan, which is fighting inside with one, say, the Islamis, the TT, the Telugu, the Taliban, Pakistan attacking, this one attacking, the Baluch Liberation Army fighting, and the Pakistan army have already lost, I think, two to 300 soldiers in the last year, all sent, I don't know, maybe to paradise, anywhere else, I can't say. So, gentlemen, I think I'll close now and say goodbye and God bless. I look forward to more interaction with you. Please, if you like my video, please share it with your friends and come back for more. Jai Hind.